been celebrating Earth Day since 1990. That was the year that it went global. There were activities in cities across Canada. And at that point, I was really passionate about recycling, which was kind of a new thing. Very passionate about animals. In my early teens, I'd been wearing like a Save the Whale button on my shirt every day at school. Since then, it's evolved. I am now more passionate about all the different aspects of Earth and our environment and nature, not just little parts of it. And I celebrate every year. I usually start with Earth Hour at the end of March. Always observe that, turning off all the lights, all the electronics. And then I kind of celebrate all through April. I love spring, seeing everything come back to life. Definitely on April 22nd itself, going for a walk, maybe getting into the dirt, planting a tree, participating in some of the activities put on by different local organizations that I can celebrate with like-minded people. But really, I think that it's important to remember that every day is Earth Day, and every day I try to make decisions with the health of the earth in mind.
Earth Day is a day where we come together to take strides towards sustainability and climate action. And for me, Earth Day is a day to really reflect on how amazing our planet is, but also how fragile it is and how much my own actions can impact it. And so I like to spend the day by, often cleaning up my neighborhood, especially given the spring season. But I also take it as a day to reflect on my own actions and really see if there are ways that I can, do more to reduce my own personal consumption.
It's really important to remember that it is a relationship, that we are all connected, and we rely on nature as much as nature relies on us. So we need trees to help take carbon out of the air, put oxygen in for us to breathe, and the trees rely on us to provide a safe space for them to grow and be healthy. And I think it's really easy for us to see ourselves as separate from nature, and as a human species, we've done a good job of that. We've adapted the environment to suit us. We've built houses, we've built cities, we get used to seeing animals in zoos. We have lost connection sometimes with where our food has come from. And I think it's important to remember that relationship and the fact that we are not separate from nature. We are in it, we are a part of it, we rely on it. We must take care of it in the same way that we want it to take care of us.
For me, I think the most important thing to think about, thinking about the relationship to the world around us, is for us to remember that everything that we do has an impact. When I think about something like garbage, you put it in the trash can, someone comes and picks it up, and it gets taken away, and it becomes very easy to forget about that collecting in a landfill. That's one example. I think there are lots of other examples where, we do things that we don't see the full impact of and we may not appreciate. And so I think it's just important to reflect on how the decisions that we make and the habits that we build may impact us further down the line and may impact our planet in ways that, aren't readily apparent to us at first.
I would really like for us to treat the planet with more respect, and to understand that everything we do makes a difference. So it's really easy to throw a piece of litter on the ground and think, it doesn't really matter, it's just a tiny piece of plastic in the big wide world. Same with choosing to take a car ride instead of, say, walking or biking. It's easy to think that that little bit of carbon being emitted into the air really doesn't add up to that much, but it actually does. So every single thing that we do makes a difference. And I think it's really important for us to take responsibility for that, for our own actions. Having said that, I also think it's really important for the people in charge to create a situation where it's easy for individual people to make those choices with the environment in mind. So making it easier to ride our bike, making it easier to recycle plastic. I think that really helps individuals to make good choices and to treat the world and nature and our environment with the respect that it deserves.
I would like us to be less selfish collectively. I say that recognizing there are amazing people, organizations, governments out there leading environmental change, leading initiatives into sustainability. But I would say collectively, it often feels like we prioritize consumption. So having things, owning lots of stuff, and making money over the future of our planet. And so I would really love to see that attitude change at scale and en masse, especially when it comes to large corporations who really push that consumption of things and stuff in the name of profit.
There are so many ways to get involved, and it's a really exciting time because there's lots of encouragement and supports for people who do want to make a difference, especially young people. In Evolution Under Pressure, in each chapter, I have some ideas of what we do now. A lot of that is down to government organizations and bigger influencers, but there's lots of little things that individuals can do as well, and that definitely includes young people. In this chapter, things like fixing something that's broken instead of buying a new one. Do you really need to upgrade to the newest version of every electronic that comes out? So very little actionable pieces, but also lots of organizations you can join. There's also some really inspiring stories of young people that have made a difference. In this one, I talk about my friend Vinisha, and she worked to produce a solar ironing cart in India that replaces the use of coal. So looking at better sources of energy and using less energy is just one way that we can make a difference, and there's lots of ways that young people can get involved.
So quite honestly, I don't have, really powerful suggestions for kids looking to get involved in climate action and environmentalism, because I'm kind of going on this journey myself, trying to be more involved, be a better advocate for our planet. But I will say, if you're a kid, if you are passionate about environmental activism, about making this planet a better place, follow that passion. I think with the help of an adult, you can find events in your local community that you can attend to meet like-minded people. With a bit of research on the internet, some books from the library, I think you can learn about some of the amazing initiatives led by kids, led by adults, led by people all over the world, and hopefully you can use those as inspiration for the type of change that you want to bring to your local community.
One of the chapters in Evolution Under Pressure deals with how cities are affecting both ourselves and the nature around us. And there's examples in here under What Do We Do Now about really densely populated cities where they're making an effort to make more green spaces, including even like patio gardens. A small pot on a deck with a tomato plant can really connect you with nature. And also provide a lot of resources for the natures that does exist in the city, even if you can't see it. In this section of making a difference, there's No Mow May. Is something that's celebrated kind of around the world now, where even small little spaces of grass, if you don't mow them for a little while, they come with wildflowers, they come up with some weeds, and all these things attract little critters, flying animals, insects, birds, bringing nature to you. And there's are great ways to just have nature not as somewhere you go to or something that you do as an event, but just part of your everyday life.
So I love this question, right? How do you connect with nature when you don't have access to those large green spaces or don't have the means to participate in popular outdoor activities? And for me, the suggestion that I often give is, if it's safe and accessible for you to do so, take a walk. There is an amazing amount of biodiversity in places that we don't expect to encounter it, right? trees on the street, plants in abandoned lots, nature living in the cracks on the sidewalk. The other thing I will say is that don't feel you need to go outside necessarily to experience nature if that's not accessible or convenient or you're not able to get there, right? A lot of the nature I experienced early on came digitally. It came through books, it came through the television, in the form of nature documentaries. So those experiences with nature are also a way to build that relationship, right? Whether it be through a documentary or a book or even a radio program.